Bueno, es un vídeo para el canal, lo dejamos aquí. Conseguimos el generador y tocaba ir a ver a nuestro compi en silla de ruedas. Claro, no me acuerdo, Chris creo que se llamaba. A ver qué es lo que nos cuenta ese pen. Ahí puede estar la clave de todo, ¿eh? Ahí puede estar la clave de todo. Mira, señor, lo que he conseguido.
I brought the generator you need, Chris.
Great, Michael. I knew you could do it.
Legit.
Give me a few minutes to set up the computer and open the report.
While Chris was getting everything ready, I decided to sit down in one of the armchairs in the office. I was exhausted.
El sillón.
My mind had been trying to make sense of the last few hours of my life for what seemed like an eternity. The first hours following my bitter birth in this new world. But how could I judge the new world if I could barely remember the old one? The only thing I was sure of was that we had lost something very valuable along the way. The photograph of our life, overnight, had turned into a dark, blurry, sepia-tinted image. All of civilization had drowned under the great wave, and the only thing left on the beach were its remains. But no, I was fooling myself. I was already lost before the catastrophe. To tell the truth, all the other victims of the Great Wave had been luckier than me. They still dreamed of returning to their lives. Mine had already been broken a long time ago. Did I really stand a chance of recovering something I'd already lost forever? What type of strength, what type of miracle could ever give me that second chance?
Michael, wake up!
What's happening?
The report, Michael. It's the report.
Lo estaba revisando mientras dormías. Es increíble.
It's way beyond our
Vale.
expectations.
Vas a creer que he vuelto loco.
How about at the beginning?
Okay. It's the dead synchronicity.
Sincronicidad muerta.
The entire universe is changing.
Y nosotros vamos a ser testigos de
We're
ello.
going to
Vale.
be witnesses.
Witnesses? Victims? What is this dead synchronicity point?
It's hard to explain. You're a photographer, so I'll imagine a person's life chronicled in... Up to now, and according to the rules that governed our universe, we were all subject to certain very specific temporal rules. Past, present, and future. That's all there was to it. So, the first thing we'd find would be a photo of the person as a newborn, then another on the person's 6th birthday, then another in college, and so on. Then we'd see photos of the person's wedding, children, old age, death. All in logical, linear, chronological order. Since our universe is conceived along a single line that starts in the past, makes a stopover in the present, and then projects into the future. Do you follow me?
Yes, of course I follow you.
Well, imagine now that this entire temporal architecture crumbles, falls apart, dissolves. Imagine that something or someone has altered the foundations of our universe, changing the rules of the game, forever annihilating our idea of time. The concepts of past, present, and future.
I think you just lost me, Chris.
Then let me continue with the metaphor of the photographs. Imagine now that a card dealer takes all these snapshots that sum up the life of this person, shuffles them, and places them in a stack in one spot on the card table. What would we have then? There would no longer be a chronological line, Michael. There would be no past, present, or future. Each of the individual events captured in these photographs, they would all be happening simultaneously, at the exact same point in time. And that point we would call...
Punto de sincronicidad.
Synchronicity point.
Exactly. Now our world is abandoning its old physical laws and getting closer to that dead synchronicity point where time no longer exists. And therefore, all the phenomena and events that happened or will happen in the universe will start to be stacked on top of other ones, like the photographs in the dealer's deck.
That sounds crazy. How?
Completely, Michael. The dead, and the worst thing is that we're approaching it. It'll only be a matter of days. At best, maybe time is ending.
And what does all this have to do with us?
Come on, do you still... This change in the architecture of the... is the real origin of the Great Wave, the dissolved.
Nos dijiste que podría existir una solución.
The last time we spoke, you told me that there...
Yes, and that's the best theoretically, Michael, and paradoxical as it may sound, to change things, to turn the process around, and return...
And how would that be possible?
By penetrating the very center of the anomaly, and arriving at the point where time is just starting to fold back into itself. If, inside the dead synchronicity point, each and every one of the events, then surely it must be possible to gain access to the
I can't believe what I'm hearing. That you're...
Yes, I'm talking about the possibility of accessing of turning the Great Wave and all its consequences into a mere nightmare.
Vaya paranoia.
Talks about the hypothetical into the very heart, a door to each and every one of the snapshots of the past, and if through that door we had a chance to access the precise Michael, that's what we've got to focus on. But I have to continue studying this report, and you have...
What the hell do...
According to the report, the dissolved are still a big mystery. What we do know is that they are people who are especially sensitive to the dead synchronicity.
Especially sensitive?
Of course. This transformation, this radical and is totally incompatible. We're condemned to die, Michael.
That's terrible.
If you think about it rationally, it's obvious. Of a gradual and precarious adaptation to the environment, reaching the dead synchronicity point, the annihilation of time, and what do you think will happen to the human race? I'll tell you, our primary metabolism will go into a state of shock. That what we now call our bodies will lose all coherence.
Will dissolve. Those poor...
Indeed. According to the report, the
Son solo pioneros adelantados.
vanguard of the human race, and that's why some cases started cropping up so early, even before the Great Wave. Their illness was and that's why the cases are multiplying exponentially. We'll all end up turning.
So the...
Yes, Michael. That's why the catastrophe. It was the first clear and obvious, and it brought chaos and misery.
You're telling me
mía.
the dead synchronicity point is the origin of all this chaos? That our only chance of salvation is a theoretical journey to the past? Or sooner or later we'll all be obliterated? Like those poor dissolved?
That's right, Michael. So we'd better get to work on it as soon as possible. By the way, the report also mentions another very interesting thing about the dissolved.
What is it?
It seems that in their trances, through their trips to the underground highways, the sick form a strange relationship with each other. It's as if the disease unites them, regardless of any physical distance that might separate them. The report is very unclear on this point, but it seems as if the dissolved are somehow linked.
Eso es lo que había dicho el niño pequeño.
That can't be.
Remember, please, remember.
Everything fits now. Everything makes sense.
Please. Enough. My head. And then you asked me to tell you.
Eso quiere decir que nosotros también estamos enfermos.
Michael, what's going on?
Chris, get one of those tests. Fast.
But what for? You don't think that you're also...
Do as I say.
Okay. Give me your hand. It's positive. Michael, you're sick. You're a dissolved.
No. That can't be. No. No.
Michael, wake up.
Emily? Emily.
Así empezábamos, ¿eh?
Please, Michael, wake up. Wake up.
Is that really you? Where am I?
Yes, Michael. It's me. You are on the underground highways.
Madre mía. Qué final más inesperado. O sea que hemos estado todo el juego siendo un enfermo. Todo el juego siendo un enfermo. Y no hemos podido salvar el mundo. Hemos acabado con los disueltos en la autopista subterránea. Lo bueno es que hemos conseguido volver con nuestra pareja. Vaya paranoia más gorda, ¿eh? En fin, me ha gustado mucho el juego. Espero que también os haya gustado. Dale like y suscribiros si no estáis. Y nos vemos en el próximo vídeo. Chao, chao.